Hello and welcome to the Walk in the Podcast. I'm TJ.
And I'm Brooke.
And today is our last episode of 2021. A little loud. We missed it.
We super missed it. There we go.
Welcome. Thank you for watching or listening. Well, I've never started with thank you for watching.
I know. Whoa.
Feels weird. I'm uncomfortable. Yeah, so this is, hit it late. If you're,
You want weird? I'll give you weird. Weird.
Yeah, last episode of 2021. And usually, at least the last 2 years, this is our third year doing the podcast. This is our third last episode of the year.
Crazy.
That feels insane.
In the membrane?
Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. It feels like,
I feel very blessed.
but I'm also older now.
Right.
So my knees hurt, my back, my left shoulder. So
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun getting older.
I can't really feel my feet in the morning,
Well,
but
everyone else can. You're tumbling around, walking down
our stairs are carpeted, okay?
Mom's up.
I'm not that loud. I do have a memory, though, of as a child, of my mom. She probably, always knew it about me, but then was like, how do I say this gently? I don't want to hurt her feelings.
Right.
And she basically...
Hey, monster feet. And then
No, she just said that I walk very heavy and loud, and I've never forgotten it.
take that to my grave. Spoiler alert, she's dead and was a heavy walker. So you probably already knew because you don't hear her thumping around.
Right. I don't hear her anymore. She must be gone. It's nice knowing her.
Now, every time it thunders, that's her.
That's me in heaven walking around. Nice. God's bowling, baby.
Yeah, so every year for the first time we did it, we said we're going to do a recap of the year. And then we ended up being super emotional about it.
Truly
Surprised. And that episode was a surprisingly emotional recap to the year.
Yeah.
And now we've kind of changed it into a Mount Rushmore of the previous year.
Right.
But it also is emotional that way too.
Yeah.
So there will probably be some emotional moments today, but we're glad that you have joined us this year. We're thankful that you listen. We're thankful that you may watch. We're thankful that you follow. We're thankful that you buy t-shirts or Beauty Counter or whatever you do to support us. We're super, super grateful. And we couldn't do it without you. And so we are going to recap the year. But before we do that, I have an update on the warehouse sale. Yes, there is a password protected on our website right now. And no, you aren't going to magically know it being a podcast listener.
I love that people are trying.
They're
and
trying.
guessing, though.
I think people are getting locked out of the website because they're trying so many times.
Nipples.
Nipples,
Z.
monster feet, all those things. We are, again, facing issues from our fulfillment center with their new system, having inventory be an issue to show up. So we don't want to make it live. There is a password for it and you could get in, but the products that are available are only part of the products that we have. So even if you got in right now by magically guessing the password, you would not be able to buy the full gauntlet of what we should have as part of our warehouse sale. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm really advanced.
Wow.
And so
Gauntlet. I don't think I've ever used that word in a sentence.
I think I use it almost daily.
I'd say you use it monthly.
Monthly, not weekly,
No.
but monthly.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we'll get it up as soon as we can. I understand that all of you want it to be up and want it to be live, which makes me feel super grateful, but I'm going to answer all the messages the exact same way. As soon as it's up, when you go to the site, you will be able to shop. That is when you will find out that the warehouse sale is live.
Yeah.
So there's no password that you're going to guess, but we're trying to get it up hopefully this week, which I know I said that last week, but just running into
Such is
issues.
life.
So that's just what we're dealing with. It's
I feel very blessed.
Yeah.
And it was a tough end of the year moments this week. That's okay. Well, life is good. God is good. And I think that we are going to be even better next year because of all these issues that we've had with this new system and stuff. So, that's just the way it is. We also have some fun plans for next year that are percolating.
A gauntlet of fun plans.
Yeah, we have a gauntlet of percolating fun plans. So that's super fun. But yeah, this is the last episode of the year. We will have, let me look at the calendar here. So yeah, this episode comes out the 20th. We won't have an episode on the 27th. We won't have an episode on January 3rd. We won't have an episode on January 10th. Our next episode will be January 17th because that's Sunny's birthday. Because we are traveling back to Pennsylvania for Christmas for 2.5 weeks, and we really don't want to pack up all our podcast stuff. Yeah. That's mostly the reason we won't have episodes. So there's a chance that we might fit one in, but I don't know.
Seems slim.
Chances seem slim with all the stuff we need to do before we leave on Thursday, which I told Wednesday. I told Brooke, hey, a week from now we're leaving. I'm not going to say it's sent her into a downward spiral of frustration and misery. Not because she doesn't want to go back, but because you just don't want to be in an airplane.
Yeah. I just didn't know we were a week away.
Yeah, it definitely.
In my mind, I was like, we got like 10, 11 days, 12 days, a gauntlet of days. And then you were like, well, we leave in a week. And I actually think you were wrong because I think you said that on a Thursday. And then I looked it up. We actually leave on a Wednesday.
So it's even worse.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it'll be fine. It'll be cold.
Very cold.
But because of that, we celebrated Christmas yesterday, or 2 days ago if you're listening on Monday. I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop justifying the Monday thing. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm talking in real time.
Right. So we need to be able to say yesterday and not care.
Not care. I'm just gonna. That's what I'm gonna do in 2022. I'm gonna stop caring. I'm gonna stop counting calories. Yeah. I'm gonna stop caring.
You don't count calories.
I'm gonna start living. My new motto for 2022: live, laugh, love. So
I'm here for it. I feel like you could get a sign with that on it.
I don't think they make them.
Like a wooden sign?
Maybe it's something custom.
Yeah.
Probably not at TJ Maxx or Home Goods or Target.
You probably couldn't find one.
Yeah. I'll probably have to find someone custom to build that live, laugh, love. I wonder if anybody's ever thought of that. It's 3 L's.
It's really good.
It goes really well together.
Ooh.
Live, laugh, love. So we had Christmas. It was incredible. Super fun. Our girls are just the sweetest little humans that have ever lived. And I know every parent thinks that, but man, why don't you tell them about the moment that you didn't capture because your phone was dead?
Yeah, my phone was dead. So,
which is partly my fault because I was changing outlets, and so I had to move everything out of the room, and chargers probably in a pile somewhere next to another pile next to a laundry basket of an older pile.
Yeah.
And that laundry basket is inside of another laundry basket that I think has actual laundry in it.
Yeah. So I can't get the two laundry baskets apart because they've like suction cupped together in a vortex. So I'm like, they're going to live like
our
this now.
Two laundry baskets are a living organism. And now they have.
They've meshed.
They've formed one.
Yeah. No, the girls were sitting in front of the tree, like looking at all the presents underneath. And they're all huddled up in the morning. It's like still dark outside. And Sunny reaches over and puts her arm around June. And they like leaned their heads together. And it was so cute. But my phone was dead.
But so just for you.
Memory.
Speaking of memories, 2021. A year that I would say was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some things that we expected. Like we definitely expected to have a baby.
That was our hope.
That was our hope. But outside of that, I don't think we could have predicted any of the rest.
No.
So January 1st, 2021, you asked TJ, what's going to happen this year? What's your Mount Rushmore? I'm going to start there. Your Mount Rushmore of...
Well, I'm sure we did it in an episode, don't we? Or did we not?
We said we wrote it down and put it in an envelope.
Oh, and then we moved. Where's the envelope?
It's a good, solid point. I don't think we shared it on the episode because we didn't want to tell people we were trying to have a baby.
Yeah.
Because that makes you feel weird.
Makes me feel weird.
Yeah. And So we were just like, we're going to do it separately. And I think we did, but who
We
knows?
did. I don't know where it is.
Who knows where those papers are? So I had to guess, but we should
Okay.
probably end with that, right? Or
No,
start
go
with
for
it.
it.
Okay. So we have Mount Rushmore. What I thought my Mount Rushmore of 2021 would be.
Okay.
Number 1, having a baby.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Releasing a brand new product, almost a new business, essentially.
Right.
Not even close. Buying another property. We did do that.
We kind of did that.
But it wasn't an additional property. It was a new property, and we sold our,
Yeah.
We sort of did that. I'll give myself half credit. And then continuing healthy family rhythms. I wouldn't say that happened this year.
I wouldn't say it didn't happen though. Because that makes it sound like we had unhealthy no rhythms.
No, I said
No, I know, but you're like, if it didn't happen, the opposite
Right.
would be.
it didn't happen the way I thought it would happen.
Right.
And it definitely, we entered a season of chaos to some degree.
Of piles.
Piles within piles, trash panda. We started to live like trash pandas, essentially, in 2021.
Right.
And it was good. Like,
I mean, I'm ready for it to be over.
they're a vital part of the ecosystem, I think. I don't know. Probably not.
Raccoons.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how vital they
I don't
are
know.
to
Yeah,
anything.
how vital they are.
Anyways,
But you know they wash their food before they eat it,
so
which is really cute.
yeah.
So my mom used to tell me this story. They had a neighbor who used to have a raccoon, which is very illegal, I'm certain. But they would
It's
give
a
it,
free country, babe.
they would give it little shortbread cookies. And so it would dunk them in the water and then to wash its food, and they would dissolve. And then
That's so mean.
I know. And then he'd be like, oh, so he'd pick up another one. Oh, and it would go away every time.
Oh, that's so mean. This poor
Poor trash.
trash panda. But yeah, I just the baby was the only thing that actually happened that I thought at the beginning.
For
of the year,
sure,
this
was
is
gonna
going to happen. And so yeah, it's always just so interesting to me that perspective of a whole year past, kind of what you thought it would be, and then what it is. And
Yeah.
sometimes like last year we in 2020 we obviously had a totally different year than we expected because of the virus of unknown origin. And in 2021 that had kind of passed, at least to some degree.
Right.
And it just ended up being completely different for a whole new reason.
Yeah.
And so when I look at this list, I wish I had the original list, but that's what I thought I wrote on it. It's just it's so wild to me.
Yeah. So what I thought my Mount Rushmore would be, Mount Rushmore,
Not much more.
a baby, something to do with beauty counter. I feel like I would have written
Right.
down
Like a goal or
like a goal or just what I hoped to get, the year. Our Stone Harbor vacations. I know I wrote that down.
right.
And then I wrote additional vacay because we knew that we were going to try to travel somewhere else
Right.
in 2021, like
21.
maybe to San Diego or somewhere.
We did travel somewhere else,
Yeah, we did.
and then we never left.
Right.
So, mission accomplished.
We did it.
Do you want to go into what your actual Mount Rushmore 2021 is, or do you
Sure.
want to?
Yeah.
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 All right. Wow. You're just
Well, you do yours.
okay. So mine 2021 actual Mount Rushmore, meeting Daisy, having a baby.
Yeah.
Just unbeatable. There's some circumstances during that day that I wish I could have avoided. And it's not and I'm not I don't know. How do I say this? I am more excited about Daisy now than I am the day she's born.
Right.
I am definitely meeting Daisy is the way I phrase it, because you having a baby is not an easy thing for you. So it's not that's Mount Rushmore. Brooke gets to have a baby.
Like those actual hours and days.
Yeah, that seems rough on you.
Yeah.
Truth.
That's an understatement,
Yeah, it's
but
a
yes.
little bit of an understatement, a gauntlet of understatements, if you would. But meeting her, I feel spans a longer period of time.
Yeah.
And it's after that sort of rough start. And I don't know, just seeing her personality and just seeing her smile and laugh. You got her to laugh today.
I did.
And I missed it. That's just unbeatable. And
Dropped your notes. Notes down. Yeah.
And so I just, we have a new member of our family,
That's crazy.
and that happened this year, and it's just unbeatable. All right. Number 2, buying a new home. I'm buying a new home. I moved to Hawaii and I'm buying a new home. Moving to Hawaii, buying a new home. Those are like 2 and 3, obviously, because we wouldn't. There was part of me at the beginning of the year that was like, I think maybe we're going to move out of our house in Pennsylvania. Right. Like we were starting to feel sort of the tightness of it, especially if we were like thinking about adding a new kid. Like it then becomes like, how are we going to do this room wise and work wise, and just feel like we're always on top of each other. And so I thought that was going to happen this year. Not enough to put it on my like prediction list.
Yeah.
But there was part of me that was like, this could, if I had to pick a year for it to happen, it could be this year. But to think that it was this home, 4,700 miles away, is like just shocking. Like I just find myself completely shocked at what 2021 turned into.
Yeah.
Like
it feels surreal.
Yeah.
Or just like, because as I was writing down some of my notes, I was remembering our last night in our house in Pennsylvania, which I'm going to try not to cry about, because anytime I think about that night, I just like, it gets me. And part of me was like, man, I feel like I wasn't very present at that time. I was like, it was like an out of body experience.
Right.
And then I was like, no, I actually think I was pretty present. It just didn't feel real. And I think that's different than like totally out of body.
Right.
But it does. It just doesn't.
Like,
it's crazy.
I don't know the definition of surreal, but I'm going to make one up right now.
Okay.
Like it's surreal to like hold your kid. Like you're just like, how do I have a child? This move feels unreal. Like it feels like a level beyond that, because never was like in my life, I always thought, I want to have kids someday. I would like there was
a part of you somewhere had thought about it.
Yes. Thought about what that might be like, what that might feel like, what that might do to my heart and emotions and all those kind of things, like what they might look like and what their names might be. Like you picture that, just kind of like you picture your wedding someday, like there are elements of that where you picture, what might happen. I've never pictured this in my life. Yes, I've joked, like I've mentioned it, like, hey, we should move to Hawaii. Like I've said stuff like that, but I've never actually pictured it. So it kind of goes beyond surreal to me and is like, this is unreal. Like this feels almost fantastical to me. Like it's like, and so I just can't, like, even now, after buying a house and living here for 6 months, and just like, it's still, there's moments where I'm just like, how is this life? How did this happen? How did it happen so quickly? Like, how did we do it during this year? Like,
how did I get here?
Yeah. And so that is just like, obviously at the top of the list, so meeting Daisy, moving to Maui, buying a new home. And then the last one is watching June and Sunny become best friends. And so we had no idea why we were moving here, other than we just wanted to be obedient to the Lord, and we just wanted to trust him and follow him and like lean into the, call he put on Brooke's heart. Like that's all we wanted to do. And then like the question that we get all the time is why? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? How'd you know? Et cetera, et cetera. And I don't know that we know that answer. And I've said this many times. Like I think that answer is ongoing and developing over time.
Yeah.
But one of the very early reasons I can see for moving here is that our daughters, who will have a relationship with each other longer than they'll have a relationship with Brooke and I, are becoming best friends. And so no matter what happens, no matter where we end up, no matter how long we live here, what this move did to their relationship and their friendship will have implications for 70, 80 years. And so like, to me, it was worth all the stress of selling a house. It was worth all the stress of packing. It was worth all the stress of having to tell family and friends that we were leaving. Like it's all been worth it for that and that alone. And like, if we end up having to move or whatever, like whatever happens, I will never look back at this moment and think, man, we shouldn't have done that because now we already have left, or what, like, fill in the blank, because even now it's been worth it. We lose money, like whatever, like it's been worth it because of those girls basically becoming best friends because of it.
Yeah.
So those are my Mount Rushmore. Good luck. Good luck following that.
Well, 3 of mine are the same. Moving here, having a baby, and buying a house. Like, I just...
Go team.
What? Like, I'm sorry,
Wow.
what? That's all I can say. Those are three massive things. They all happened within this year,
They all happened within the second half of this year.
basically. Yeah.
Two of them happened sort of in the 1 week of each other.
Yeah. But then my fourth one, I wrote down the word faith. And I think what I mean by that is like, there have been moments where like I feel like we've really stepped out in faith, or we've done things, or I've been like, oh, I'm really believing that this is what I was supposed to do, and like
Right.
all that. But other than when we closed our shop, but that was more placed on you, and I was like, I'm all in.
Right.
The roles were reversed.
Yep. I was sitting in the brown chair saying, yeah, I think we should close our shop.
Right. And I said, all right, I'm all in.
Yeah.
You know, and so this was the first time that I felt like I heard something very clearly, heard, and that wasn't like an audible heard,
Right.
but like,
This is audible.
it's also the Lord telling you to move. What? You sound like the
Chapter
audible guy.
7. The word.
Crying in a bank
as we
lobby.
Too far.
Yeah. So
Too far!
I feel like it was the first time I heard, felt, was prompted in all these ways, and said yes to something, and that something also like totally wrecked me.
Mm.
And that was part of the reason I knew I had to do it.
Right.
Because there's been things I've done before that I'm like, yeah, it's totally the right thing. Like,
Yeah.
this all makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I wrote the word faith, but it's bigger than that.
And what do you mean, like, when you say totally wrecked you? Like, what does that mean?
Like, it felt the back then, the concept of, okay, so we're all just gonna up and move that far away and be fine. It felt impossible.
Mm.
It felt scary. It just like, I don't know. It was like once I had the thought and then gave it legs by saying it out loud to
Yeah.
you, it was like, it felt so clear that that's what we were supposed to do, that like that's all I could picture then.
Right.
And I just have never had a moment in life that was that surreal,
Right.
but also so clear.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Like
like once you said it, it was like, oh, I can't go back on that now.
Right. And not just out of like pride or anything
Right.
weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Just like,
I've had moments that feel surreal
yep.
in life, and I've had moments that feel very clear,
Yep.
but it felt both. And so it was like, it wasn't confusing. It was just like, this is something, there's an overlap here of all the things I'm feeling that I've never thought about or felt before. And we're now going to put action with them.
Mm-hmm. Lots of action.
Like, hold on, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to think like when we meet people here and they ask us, oh, how long have you lived here? And, you know, we're like, oh, a couple of months, you know, and they're like, yeah, we said, you know, we'll tell a little bit of the story. Like, yeah, we thought we would try it out for a year, but now we're going to stay longer. They're like, oh yeah, that was our story too. Like, how long from when you just decided to move here till you moved here? I'm like, oh, like 2.5 months. So like, what? So some people are like, oh, it took us 2 years to pull the trigger
Or more, yeah.
you know, and it's like, I don't know. I think that oftentimes and I felt this with the store, like, you know, when we decided to close down the store, there was a year of me kind of
The
avoid
store or like the shop as a whole?
the shop as a whole.
Not the physical
No.
retail store.
No. There was like a whole year of like kind of fighting that call a little bit. And I think like a lot of us, myself included, because I did it for a whole year, live in that tension. We feel the Lord calling us out in some way, and we think, I just need it to be a little bit clearer. I need to have the path drawn out for me a little bit more. And then once I have that, then that decision will be easier.
It's like that. Well, we'll have kids when
Yeah.
we don't have any school day.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah.
Or we'll
blah,
get
blah,
married.
blah.
Yeah, et cetera. Yeah.
And you're like, well.
And so it's like, I've, and we took a year to kind of go through that. And it was a terrible year for us.
Yeah.
Like 2018 was one of the hardest years of our marriage, of our business, of our finances. Like it was just brutal. And I don't know if that, like, because I just wasn't obedient right away. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it was just because like that's just the way it was. But there's part of me that when I look back at that, I'm like, man, I should have responded that more immediately. I should have sought counsel with that more immediately. So when Brooke said that this year, I think that's why we ended up moving so quickly. I think the baby had a lot to do with it because it was like, if we wait to have Daisy,
I don't want to move with a newborn.
Right. It was easier to move pregnant. So that, I definitely think there was part of it. But I think part of it was like, I know what it's like to live in that tension for a year of like, should we do this? Shouldn't we do this?
Yeah.
That like, I don't want to do that anymore. That's like not a healthy place to be. And so I want to just confidently say yes. And I want to start walking down this path, even though I don't know where it leads, even though I can't, the driving at night scenario, like I can only see as much as the headlights are illuminating, but I'm just going to keep driving because that's what the Lord has called us into, obedience, not because I can see the end of the road,
right?
But because obedience is worth it.
Yeah.
And it's, and it shows that we love him. And so I just feel like our turnaround from that moment to being here was so quickly realized and happened because we had experienced the opposite of that, where we felt we should do something and we ignored it or tried to reason around it or had excuses or whatever. And so like, and again, like God used 2018 in a mighty way to bring us to 2021 where we could make that quick decision. And so like, it's just so cool to like kind of have that perspective looking back and being like, man, if we hadn't had that rough year of like living with that like kind of awkward tension of not being obedient right away, I don't think we would have been obedient as quickly in 2021.
Yeah, I agree.
And so as we look back, I just find myself just like kind of in awe of who God is and just kind of how he weaves together your life. Like I just feel in awe of that over and over again. And 2021 was just like a huge moment in that sort of faith journey. So, Wow. What do you got? What were you going to hit?
Nothing. I was moving my notes.
Oh. Okay. Well, usually we end with that. So, but we just went right into it. So we're going to we got a couple of fun things to do. One of which, and then we have, I think I'll finish with this one. Like these two. Okay. So always in the last episode of the year, we do like Mount Rushmore of other things. So albums, songs. We usually do movies and shows, but honestly, most movies are bad now and most shows are even worse. So I had a really hard time.
It was the same last year.
Yeah.
I remember being like, well, here's my Mount Rushmore of movies. Actually, these are just the only 4 movies I saw.
Right. Outside of kids' movies, we don't necessarily watch a ton.
Right.
So I have 2 favorites, and then I told Brooke, like, if you want to come up with any sort of category of your own that is outside of some of the ones that we've done in the past, feel free. So Mount Rushmore of albums, do you have 4 or do you just have 1 or?
An actual album, I just have 1.
Okay.
Mine was Matt Carney's latest album.
January Flower.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And then I would also add to that list, Wearing a Blindfold While Running by Elisa Smith, GGBBXX by Lainey, and Planetarium by Glades. So those are my Mount Rushmore of albums. So check them out. They're really good because I have incredible taste. I don't know if you realize this, but I have incredible taste.
It makes me feel a little nervous. So
how good my taste is? I know. Yeah.
We've talked about this before. Matt Carney. Sorry, let me fix my headphones. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, so Matt Carney has released albums like right when we got married, sort of like our first.
Right when we got married, all 3 times we've had children.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, I'm done having kids, and we're not doing any of. Dude, when you launch one in like 2 to 3 years, I'm a little panicked.
Yeah, what's going to happen?
What's going to happen to me?
Probably like a mohawk, or maybe I'll just finally commit to a mustache.
Ooh.
I mean, that's a big move. That's like
I'm not ready for that.
It's like move to Maui, commit to the mustache. Those are 2 sort of equal.
I just never pictured that in my life.
I know. It's beyond surreal.
That's unreal.
It's unreal.
It's unreal.
And it's hard to look at because it's a dirt stash. So
I met you.
you
with
look
the dirt
like
stash.
a cyclops, but your eye is missing. So you don't want to look at your face. That's Aaron when they songs of the year. You got some?
Yeah. So at the top of my list, I'm actually going to put them in order kind of,
Oh,
would be Catch Me.
Yep.
That's the title of it.
Yep.
By
Lisa Smith.
Elisa Smith. I can't say that I've listened to it a ton since we moved,
Right.
but I mean it when I say word for word, that song was like my entire thought process.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it could be written more exactly what I was thinking. It's insane in the membrane. So I would put that at the top. I would put Anywhere With You off of the
January Flower by Matt
January
Carney.
Flower album. And then, I think I might put Finding Francisco. Remember when we was talking about him?
Francisco.
His Bittersweet song.
Nice.
I think I'd put that there.
Okay. I see you, girl.
What was the song just playing the other day? And I was like, gosh, I love this. Oh, the Gracie
Abrams. Feels like. Yep. Nice.
Those would be my 4.
Nice. I'm going to make a specific playlist just with our
8 songs.
8 songs. Mine would be Catch Me by Lisa Smith. Well, I guess it's 7 songs. Odds by Matt Carney.
Mm.
So that wasn't on the actual album. It was like released as part of the deluxe version, and it's my favorite song on that album. It's Okay by Nightbird, but the live at the Maple House version. Like she has like a regular studio version, but I like the live version way better. She's the girl that was like on America's Got X Factor. What's it called?
Talent.
America's Got X Factor Talent.
Yeah.
America's X Factor Talent show with Simon Cowell. American Idol. Is it American Idol?
No.
Voice is American Idol with Talent. X Factor. Member of FDIC. And then Hot Tea by Half Alive. Those are my songs. Those are my jams, babe.
Yeah.
And as far as movies and shows, I only had basically 3 written down. Dune is
Bluey season 2.
Bluey season 2, episode 3. Bluey season 2, episode 4. Bluey season 2, episode 7.
Oh.
Movies, Nobody with what's his name? Bob Odenkirk.
Yep.
Dune. I thought Dune was the best movie of the year.
Yeah.
Fantastic adaptation of the book. And I put Luca because I was like scrolling through movies and I was like, yeah, Luca's
it's a good movie.
It's pretty good. And that was it. And then shows, I think my favorite show of the year,
Silencio Bruno.
Really the only show of the year that I watched like was like, I have to keep going. Like it was like, this is so good, was Squid Game. And it lived up to the hype. I mean, obviously it's like a very mature style show and it definitely has like a lot of gore. So it's not for everybody, but like it was just like a refreshing, fantastic sci-fi fantasy, like kind of made up story that you're just like, this feels real. Obviously, hopefully this doesn't happen, but like it was just good. It was well written, well acted.
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining like it should be. I think my issue now is like so much of TV and movies are so like politically motivated, and it just like they sacrifice story and character development in the name of some sort of message that they want to get across, and it's just like, I'm out. So we don't. I find that we watch a little bit more YouTube now, or we just sit on the couch in silence. But
it's my dream.
I like it.
2022 though, we're getting a puzzle table, right?
Puzzling.
The tagline, 2022. Puzzling. We're about to do some puzzling. All right. Do you have any movies or shows you wanna, or any like category type things like that? Any food you ate? The Maui burger fries, that would be up there.
Those are good.
Huevos rancheros from Akamai.
Those are also good. No, I feel like this. Let me say this and then backtrack.
Okay.
I feel like I didn't do anything this year. That's obviously not true. I did insanely large, big things.
Yeah.
But little things like that.
Yeah.
Eating at different restaurants, going to new places here.
Yeah.
that kind of stuff just like didn't happen.
Yeah, because
So I'm like, I don't know.
yeah,
I didn't do anything extra because I feel like all the main things took up all the main things.
Yeah, it took up all the time. Like, because especially like when we first got here and we were so close to the beach, like it was just like that was so easy to just say yes to that same beach over and over again and just do that thing that it's like we have yet to really explore. Like our friends Corey and Caroline came to stay with us.
Yeah.
And they have for sure done more
Oh.
on Maui in 1 week than we've done in 6 months. I think there's also part of that, like when you're on vacation, you're like more motivated and it's like, oh, well, we live here. We have time.
Yeah.
You know, especially once we decide to stay longer than a year. And I keep telling Brooke this, that like, it's okay that our first year in Maui isn't the like cool adventure blogger, etc. year, because
Yeah.
we aren't coming here for that reason. We're coming here to raise a family and to spend time with our girls and like to just do our life in a new location. And
Right.
so I just feel like our first couple of years here will be very different, you know, because this one was just like kind of a tornado of transition and like unexpected happenings. And like, you know, there's not a lot of time in there to like do anything other than just survive.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of
Yeah.
where we were just in survival mode. It's a great place to survive and it's a great like environment to be in survival mode, but it was
Yeah.
just like, wow, we really didn't like adventure or like go, like our year as a whole was a giant adventure, but
Right.
within that it wasn't like, oh, we did all these like little adventures, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have sorry, I'm struggling with my words. I have 2 more things that we want to do.
Okay.
One of you, I guess I'm asking, did you have anything else on like categories?
No.
Okay.
not-
So the next thing, this was Brooke's idea. She wanted to do proud moments of 2021. So it's not really it's not really like,
No, it's just things that I feel are worth noting and celebrating.
okay.
That's kind of what I mean by that.
But they're like smaller, like obviously having a baby is worth celebrating. Like, but
Yes.
it's like maybe things outside, like little moments or like,
yeah.
I don't know. How
Yes.
is that how you describe it?
Yeah.
Okay. So hit me with them.
So I was,
Having a baby.
yeah, right. Well, yeah, it's moments within that. Like I was proud of myself for having a baby, knowing what it was going to be for me,
Mm-hmm.
like delivery wise. I knew I needed a second C-section. I knew that. I
Yep.
knew that before I even got pregnant. I knew that was going to happen. That's the way it needed to be. And so I was proud of myself for doing it, even though I didn't want to do it
Yeah.
that way, if that makes sense. And then a moment that I was proud of, I think it's still my phone background. I don't know where my phone is, or I would hold it up for the camera.
Nice.
Classic
Brooke.
Yeah, but was like, I'm very proud of how comfortable our girls are in the ocean.
Mm.
It's a really cool thing to watch such little kids figure that out. This is very different than swimming in a pool.
Yep.
But there's a picture of Sunny on my phone background where she's like, I think we posted it or you did or I
Yeah.
did.
She's on a
somebody
boogie
did.
board.
She's on a boogie board out in the water. And I just feel like that picture so perfectly represents kind of like what we gave our girls this summer when we first moved here. We didn't take that away. Like we still have that
Yeah.
lifestyle.
There
But
is.
we're not going.
I mean, does outside exist
right,
still?
exactly. That's how I feel. I mean, these walls
These
are
walls
beautifully
are
white.
very white and beautiful.
Probably shouldn't touch them. But
Don't touch them, girls. Oh gosh, your hands are so dirty.
right, get a baby wipe. Wipe your feet. But yeah, I feel proud of like, yeah, we did that. We taught them that. They were nervous at first, and now they're just like running. Well, June, who can swim very well.
Yeah.
You know, is running out there on her own and just like she's just so into it.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
It's like, and we've talked about this, like, and people have pointed this out who have gone back and listened to episodes in order and are like catching up. They're like, you know, you mentioned that your kids love the ocean and you would love to live by the ocean. You know, you mentioned that you would love to live on an island. And like,
No, I have no memory of any of that.
but I just like, yeah, like I agree. 'Cause 2 of my moments are one of them is seeing June swim to the bottom of the ocean,
Yes.
kick off the bottom and swim to the top. Like there is something like that.
Mental image.
That mental image will be in my mind until the day I die.
Yeah.
And like yes, we could have had that on vacation, but I think there's something about seeing it so frequently that it's like,
Well, that
it is
and
now like like if you picture like a cool moment in a movie where there's like a montage and like she's swimming down and you see different bathing suits and different like, and then like and
her
it's
doing
different
it
lighting
over and
and,
over and over.
that's what's in my head. And so like, I don't know if you would have gotten that just on a vacation.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
she didn't do that in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like that took time.
And then Sunny swimming underwater, being brave enough to put her goggles on or mask on and like,
which was more than half the battle.
and just being,
getting
and
the
then just
goggles on her
like, and
face.
that lesson of just like, that's more than half the battle sometimes. Like, as a dad, I want good things for my kids. And I know that we have a heavenly Father that wants good things for us. And half the battle sometimes is us being willing and obedient to just put the goggles on. Like, because once you put the goggles on, there's a whole new world for you to see.
I keep being like, now, if you put them on, you're going to be able to see underwater.
Yeah. And you'll see turtles and fish and rocks and sand. And like, you'll see something that you've never seen before. And like, man, what a lesson for us in faith that like we sometimes are like, no, God, I don't want to put the goggles on. I don't want to. Like, it makes me too uncomfortable. I don't want to say that to a person. I don't want to break up. I don't want to change jobs. I don't want to have kids. I don't want to get married. Like, no, leave, and it's like, once we step out in faith, there is a whole new world for us to see and experience. And there's beauty beyond compare for us to see. And man, like learning that lesson through my kids' eyes over and over again here is just like, so proud.
Yeah.
Happy and proud. Overall, Joyce. Okay.
One of my moments it was reoccurring, kind of like the June swimming one, was that like you and I continued to work hard at communicating through a massive year of transition.
Yeah.
Like,
even last night we had like probably like an hour and a half long conversation.
Yes. And so.
And there were times where I was like, I just want this to be over, but I didn't. Stayed in it, babe.
I know.
Stayed in it.
You stayed in it. I mean, I strapped you to the couch. So you couldn't get up, but it was fine. That's where
we have a
now.
couch, so
we do.
Win-win.
But just like, I don't know. I feel like when you, sometimes, not you, like just in general, people, when you work hard at something, like we did when we first started, like really trying to communicate better, then you get better, and you're like, we've arrived, which, like, we're done.
Yeah, it's like running uphill, and you're like, I've crested the hill. Now I can kind of slow down.
Or just coast, or like, well, we have a few ways that we've learned to communicate better. And
Brooke died on the hill trying to run up it. But.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Yeah, she's dead. But I'm just proud of us that we continued to find new ways to talk, that we started talking about maybe some things that we haven't talked about before.
Yeah.
I just, like, it's not easy. It's not always incredibly hard and the worst thing.
Right.
Like but it's just, you have to do it. You actually have to talk and do it.
And it hurts.
Yeah. There's no way, there's no shortcut.
Yeah.
I think is what I'm saying. And, yeah, I'm proud of that.
Me too. Okay. One of mine is painting, but not just painting, because I painted rooms before in our old house, but I painted, I feel like I did a really good job. I didn't cut corners, painted the corners too. But like I did the extra effort of like changing all the outlets and changing the fans. And like, I don't know. Normally I'm one to like have big eyes about a project and be like, oh, I can totally do that. And it'll be super easy and like fun and whatever. Like that's just me. And then I get in it and I'm like, yeah, this is the worst. I'm just going to like, one coat's enough, or 2 coats is enough, or 3 coats is enough, or nope, it needs 4 coats. And I did that this time, and I changed the fans, and I just feel like I'm proud that like I'm learning that lesson of like doing things right, and sometimes the long way is worth it. And it's like I feel like that is why I'm proud of that, because it's like a lesson in just like walking.
Like I just said, there is no shortcut.
Right.
You just have to put in the work.
Yeah. And it was just like, when I sit in that living room and I'm like, man,
it's very rewarding.
It's very rewarding. And just like, it looks so different. And then my last moment of just like, oh, this was a kind of a cool moment was we moved in, and maybe 2 weeks in, I was like, man, it feels warm down here.
In our current
home. And I was like, oh, So I started, standing on chairs to feel the air vents and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Typical behavior.
it's cold, but it doesn't feel like it's that cold.
Right.
So I'm going to call someone. So I called someone to come out, and they basically were like, yeah, your units are 16 years old, which we knew buying the home that the units were
older.
eventually going to go out.
Yeah.
2 weeks in, we did not expect that.
Right.
And I just it's expensive. It's pricey.
Yeah.
But it's almost necessary to live here, like to sleep.
Especially in the specific part of Maui. We are
And it's just like, I'm an air conditioning guy. No
Yeah.
shame in that. I love it. It's a great invention. Incredible job, Dr. Air Conditioner. I think that's his name. the
Dr.
guy.
AC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his name was AC Air Conditioner. Yeah. So, Austin.
What word were you going to say?
I was going to say cocoon. Austin Cocoon Air Conditioner, the third inventor of the air conditioner. Anyways, and I remember getting that estimate for the air conditioner 2 weeks after spending
Money on a house
that I never dreamed we would spend, and just feeling like, wow, that stinks. But I did not spiral.
You didn't.
I just said it'll be okay, and we'll just make it work.
Yeah.
We'll adjust, and we'll hopefully sell more t-shirts. And so I'm proud of myself for that, for the non-spiraling of just like that kind of, because it's honestly probably the biggest house, our water heater could go out, and that's like, $5,000. Like every other appliance that you can put in, like big thing that would go out,
right,
is like
not the
a
same
quarter
prices.
or like a fifth of the price of your AC.
Right.
And so like for your AC to be the first thing like that is such like a bit like,
Boom.
and I didn't spiral.
Yeah.
So very proud of myself.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. It's not a big deal.
I'm fine.
You are fine, which is great.
That's what the AC people said.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
it was around Christmas time. So
yeah.
Anyways, I feel like you did 3, or did I miss one?
It doesn't need to be 4.
I mean, Mount Rushmore's 4.
But it's not. It's just moments we're proud of.
Oh, okay.
It's not a Mount Rushmore moment.
I mean, it's fine. Whatever. It's fine.
I'm proud of myself for. I'm kind of lumping a couple things together. Being like, yeah,
Lump
we're
it
gonna
up, babe.
homeschool.
Lump it up.
Lump it up. We're gonna homeschool. I'm gonna figure it out. Then we started. Then I was like, not what I thought it was gonna be. Reboot.
A lot of high fives this episode.
I like it. Where's the button? They're all in different places.
I like it.
We both press it.
So yeah, proud of that. And then also proud of the specificness of like, I always said, years ago, hey, do you ever think you'll homeschool your kids? And every time my answer was, yeah, I think I would do that. I don't want to teach them how to read.
Right.
That is my nightmare.
And now that's what you're doing.
And I'm doing it. And it's not the worst thing ever. And there's no shortcut to teaching a kid how to read.
Yep.
You just have to do it one lesson at a time. And I'm proud of myself because it's not like, oh, I did it and I'm done. Like I'm still very much in it.
Yeah.
But.
And it's like we didn't get the best start, to it. Like just because of this, like you were about to have a baby. And so it's like, I also feel like you've done a really good job of like not having weird, unnecessary mom guilt about it. Like, because I think there is a huge amount of pressure on moms specifically that your kids should always be at the same level of your friends' kids or your friends' kid, or your sibling, like your whatever. And it's just like kids learn all sorts of things at all different times.
Yeah.
Like I was a late bloomer to ride a bike.
Right.
But like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll learn one day. I'm just kidding. I know how to ride a bike. I'm really good at it. Not a big deal. But so I'm adding to that moment.
Yeah.
That you're just like, you're crushing it.
Thanks.
Anything else? Okay.
I mean, I could keep like rattling things, but those were some of my big ones.
For me, like moments I'm proud of you for this year are like, 1, you had a baby. It's not easy. 2, you continued to record the podcast even when the table changed and sometimes we had to set it up 5 minutes before and we rarely had notes. And like, I was actually looking for old notes to like see if I missed it, like see if I had written down the Mount Rushmore on the old notes. And it's like, man, we used to have a lot of notes for these podcasts, and this was a year where we didn't.
No.
Which I know is
Like
not.
I said, I feel like we didn't do anything. we did.
Which I know isn't
There
your
was no
sweet
extra.
spot, but there's so much. I don't know. I think God uses that in like a mighty way, and I think this year was just a testament to that, because I feel like this year we had more messages and more people thanking you for just opening up. And like, I'm proud of you that even in a year where it felt like, man, are we recording this week? Yes. What are we going to talk about? Okay, let's hit record. Like, you still showed up and you did your best to like articulate how you were feeling, the best you could. And I just like, that's hard for you to do. And you did a really good job of it.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to finish this off. And this is a part where we want you to join in, maybe in the YouTube comments or in an Instagram or in a story or somewhere or whatever, just somewhere we can see it. We thought we would share some taglines. So if 2021 had a tagline, what would it be? How many do you have? I have 4.
No, I don't have them. I thought
You
it
don't
was your
have?
segment.
Oh, I thought we were going to do it together.
Okay, well maybe I'll think of one as you go.
My first tagline. If 2021 had a tagline.
What are we doing?
It's that.
It's that.
Oh yeah.
What are we doing?
I'm sorry. What are we doing?
Number 2 is I'm in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was, you had the idea. I said I'm in. You said you were in. We said we were in. And that just like launched the second half of this year. Number 3 is if I fall, will you catch me? Like that would be a tagline of 2021. Because there was like 2 months, and honestly, maybe more like 4 months of just like, should we do that? What if we did that? What if this happens? Like just feeling that. And like, I remember when we were deciding whether we were going to sell our house in Pennsylvania, there would be drives I would have where when I was leaving to drive somewhere, I was 100% sure that we were going to rent the house.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was driving back, I was 100% sure that we were going to sell the house.
Yeah, the flip-flops were violent.
And so it was just like this year of uncertainty, and just like feeling that what that song says, if I fall, will you catch me? Just like that is for sure a tagline.
Yeah.
And then the last one I have is, I want this to be a part of our family story. I remember during one of the conversations about moving here, one of the very first ones, it might even been just like when you were like, well, how do you feel about it? Like, how do you feel that I've thrown this idea out there? Did I say? I feel like I said it.
I said it.
You said it.
I said it.
Because I was like, okay, yeah, now I'm remembering. I just remember you saying that line. I want this to be a part of our family story. And like that to me is worth all the effort. And I often think that sometimes in life, we avoid effort in the name of safety, and safety ends up being boring and dull and not living. And like all it takes is just a little bit of effort, or a little bit of just like push through, or a little bit of discomfort. And again, just like putting the goggles on, there's a little bit of discomfort when they feel too tight on your face or whatever, but then it opens you up to
fine. You just spit in them, rub it around, and then your vision will be crystal clear.
And then it just opens you up to a whole new world. And so like you saying, I want this to be a part of our family story, was like, man, it's worth all the packing and all the and all the awkward conversations. And I just feel so thankful for you and for your boldness and your faith, and just like your willingness to speak up and use your voice, because your voice matters, Brooke, to say something to me on that day. And then I think about that day, and I think about like it was a Sabbath, and we had started Sabbath a year before, and we were finding like there's so much of just like the Lord connects things in ways that you never expect. And man, if you just are obedient, there's cool things will happen. Like,
well, it's a fuller life.
Yeah. It's not just like, oh,
it's not like everything will be great.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But it's just like, wow. Obedience brings peace. Obedience brings, I don't know.
Yeah. I think sometimes obedience is the reward.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if I had to have just one, because I actually did write this down, but mine would be, and it's from the same song, it would be this mind this mental shift for me this year of what if heaven is cheering me on?
Yeah.
And I don't want to cry super hard, but I will.
Go for it, babe. Lean into it.
I know it's just hard to talk, and that's why that's kind of like the bridge of the song. Like the verse is great and the chorus is great, but then she has that bridge where she sings like, what if, what if, what if, what if, and it's all like very fear based.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't remember the exact line now, even though I've listened to it probably 500 times.
What if heaven is cheering you on?
No. The before.
I'll find it. Keep going.
Basically, or maybe it's in the verses. I don't know. Like, basically, she says, "What if what I thought I heard, I didn't hear at all?"
Mm.
And I certainly felt that.
And what if the doors all close and lock, and I find out I chased a mirage, wondering if I ever heard you at all? And what if the cost is high to pay, and I'd rather take the cup away? I second guess if the choice I made was worth it. But what if heaven is cheering me on? David's pleading, sing your song. Mary's shouting, waste it all. He's worth it.
And so I wouldn't say that overall I'm like a super fearful person. I have moments,
right?
But I would hope that wouldn't be at the top of your list of like describe the more negative side of Brooke. She's terrified all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that that's true. But my fear often manifests itself in that I remove myself from the situation.
Right. Yeah.
Or I just don't. Well, you can't fail if you don't participate.
Right.
So I won't participate.
Yeah.
And so to see it happening, to be present enough and self-aware enough in the moment, to feel it happen. I mean, literally, when I heard that song for the first time, I like fell to the floor because I realized I don't want to live in the first part of that bridge, that song.
Yeah.
I don't want to be so afraid of discomfort and so afraid of new or so afraid of stretching or whatever. I probably should stretch so I can't feel my feet in the mornings. But
help the beef jerky neck for sure.
Other kind of stretching. That I don't have this like heavenly perspective or this like joy-filled mindset of like, okay, but what if?
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody said, are you glass half empty or half full? I'd say, oh, half full. Like, I really mean that. And I believe that about myself. I believe that about you and us. Like, I do often see the positive side.
Yep.
And so I was a little surprised, I think, that the way that was phrased, just but what if heaven is cheering me on? Like, I just had never thought of that.
Mm.
And so that would be my tagline. Like, what if
It's pretty good.
I know, I'm sorry. If I ask that question about every thing that feels hard, I'm gonna have another baby. Okay, like I'm gonna try to raise.
Cheering you on?
I'm gonna try to raise 3 girls who love Jesus, who love our family, and like if I ask that question, it makes me want to run at it so hard and give it everything I have. Because if I ask the other questions, okay, but what if?
Right.
What if they, what if my kids do this someday? Or what if?
Right.
What if we don't live here forever? Or what if we do live here forever? Or what,
Right.
What if? But if I just stop asking all that and I just aim to sing my song, live my life for Jesus, and have a heavenly perspective, like it changes everything.
Right. I mean, even in the next line, she goes, what if heaven is cheering you on? He's worth it.
Yeah.
You know?
So that would be my tagline, or like I had written it down in terms of like just phrases, like because I'm pretty sure that we could go back and listen. Do you remember what you thought your word of the year was going to be? I feel like maybe we said one. We always pick one.
Yeah, I don't know. Certainly, yeah, I don't know.
But there's no way
Right.
that I would have said it was, I mean, would have had like that. That's more of a question statement, not really a word of the year, but I'm making that my word of the year.
Yeah.
Even though it's a sentence.
But it's like a good word.
There you go. I like that.
Got you, babe.
That's a good word.
I like it.
Well, yeah. So that was this is the last episode of 20.
This is the surprisingly emotional recap.
I'm not surprised though. Like
No,
I
I'm not either.
I always know that it's gonna be that, and I just can't. I don't know. I can't imagine my life with anybody but you, Brooke. And every time we do this, or like every time, like, and this is why like traditions are so important and valuable, and like this is now a tradition for us to do this. And like I feel the same way, you know, when we take out our ornaments from every year that we gift each other. Like there's so much value in that because it gives you such an eternal perspective, and it allows you to like have that eternal mindset, bring that heavenly mindset to earth. And so I just like find myself so grateful for episodes like this, and just like you sharing stuff like that. And I also just, again, feel so grateful that we have people that listen to this. Like, that definitely helps us continue to put effort into it.
Yeah.
And I can promise you that
it's the only reason I read books.
Smart. That logic is airtight. And I can promise you that in 2022, we will have more notes. We will have more plans. And so I just want to say thank you to those of you who have listened all this year and have come along with us on this journey, because it's like, it's something like, again, it's just unreal. Like I find myself in awe of God's goodness and the doors that opened and the path that was lit before us, and the ripple effect of what being obedient will do. I just I'm in awe of that. And I'm in awe of like the friends we've made and the people that have come visited, and like this whole new world that we put on these goggles and now we see this whole new world. And
we got on Aladdin's carpet. He said, "Do you trust me?"
Yes. And
I said yes.
Yeah. And it's just, and so like, I feel grateful and I feel overjoyed, and I'm just grateful like that. And so thank you for joining us in 2021, and hopefully you'll keep coming back to listen in 2022. And as soon as that warehouse sale goes live, you can buy stuff. We'll figure it out. But it looks like our first podcast in the new year will be in the 17th.
Yeah.
Just because of the way travel works and, year and all that kind of stuff. But thank you for listening. Thank you for making us a part of your week and a part of your year. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, I love you. Bye.